God joins husband and wife together in a permanent union. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. However, when couples clash because of their lifestyle, priorities, and preferences, they may get fed up and want to turn away from one another. When we are unhappy with our spouse's actions, how do we embrace our spouse and their faults? How Christ loves the church is an example for husbands to follow. Jesus loved the church not only when she was perfect, but at the time of her greatest need. Instead of rejecting her because of her imperfections, Christ demonstrated that to love your wife is to give yourself up for her. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Following in Christ's example, a husband gives himself up for his wife by asking more of himself. He puts in effort and energy to care for her needs, even when it's inconvenient to himself. Even when there are differences in opinion and his spouse insists on doing things her way, he continues to put her physical and spiritual well-being first. Husbands should not think of their wives as a separate person. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church. We nourish and cherish our own bodies because we only have one, and it's essential to our quality of life and happiness. We care for every part of our body, even the parts that we're not satisfied with. When we have an area of lack, the rest of our body naturally compensates for it, treating it with special care and attention. If a husband truly sees his wife as himself, he will always value his wife, even if she has flaws, because the entire body benefits as one. When her husband does something she considers unacceptable, what attitude should the wife have? As a helper, she should support rather than blame her husband. In the Bible, Michal despised her husband David when she felt that his actions were beneath that of a king. Instead of expressing her criticism in a helpful and respectful way, she mocked David. This created a rift between them, and for the rest of their lives, they were distant from one another. The Bible gives us a good example to follow. Abigail was married to a man known to be unreasonable and difficult to interact with. But Abigail made up for her husband's harshness and rash behavior by preparing a gift on his behalf, apologizing on his behalf, and taking all the guilt upon herself. From her, we can learn what it means to fill in for the insufficiencies of our husband, and to do so while maintaining respect and submission toward him, as the Bible teaches. The reality is that we will all face times when we disagree with our spouse. Instead of expecting our spouse to listen to us, we can change ourselves and accept our spouse through applying God's teachings. By viewing our spouse's weaknesses as our own, we can have a marriage that reflects God's love and can walk the journey of marriage to the end.